Good day, everyone. Today I want to talk about a powerful principle that can transform your life, letting God lead your path. In our journey through life, we often find ourselves trying to plan every step, every detail, every outcome. We set our goals, map our paths, and brace ourselves for any bumps along the way. But sometimes, no matter how perfect our plans seem, they don't lead us where we expected. And sometimes that unexpected path is exactly where we're meant to be. Letting God lead doesn't mean we give up on planning or pursuing our dreams. It means we understand that there's a purpose greater than we might see right now. It means choosing to align with that purpose, trusting that He can see what we can't. There's a peace and strength in recognizing that the one who designed you has already mapped out your way. When you let God lead, you're inviting wisdom, clarity, and direction beyond your human limitations. Life is full of choices, and every choice can either pull us toward or push us away from the path intended for us. But when we surrender to God's guidance, our steps become more certain. Even when challenges come, we're no longer shaken, because we know who holds our path. We become resilient in setbacks and humble in successes, knowing that every part of our journey has meaning and value. So how do we let God lead? It starts with acknowledging Him in all that we do, in our ambitions, in our relationships, in our failures, and in our victories. When we invite God into every area of our lives, we allow His wisdom to fill our hearts and shape our choices. We also need patience, because God's timing isn't always our timing, but it's always perfect. Often what seems like a delay to us is actually preparation. Each of us has a unique path, a purpose we were created to fulfill. But the beauty of life unfolds when we stop striving alone and start walking with God. Don't be afraid to let go of your plans if it means stepping into something greater. God's plans are designed for your growth, peace, and purpose. As you move forward, don't just take the wheel yourself, let God lead your path. Trusting the unseen means believing that even when you can't see what's ahead, there's a divine purpose guiding you. God's plan is like a masterpiece that only He fully understands. When we focus on trust, we release the need to control. True faith allows us to find peace, even when the path is unclear. Remember, God always has your best interest at heart. Aligning with a higher purpose brings peace and clarity, even in difficult times. Instead of trying to create our own path, we can seek God's wisdom to shape our steps. When we move with purpose, each action has meaning. God's path isn't always easy, but it's always worthwhile. Letting Him lead means living with greater intention and fulfillment. Patience gives us the power to trust God's timing over our own. When we wait, we allow God's plan to unfold perfectly. Impatience often leads us astray, but patience brings alignment with His purpose. Remember, growth takes time, and God is never in a hurry. Waiting on Him allows us to be prepared for what's ahead. Releasing control isn't a sign of weakness, it's a demonstration of trust. God's perspective is limitless and ours is limited, so we can trust Him to lead us. When we surrender, we open ourselves to possibilities we couldn't imagine. True control lies in letting go and letting God work. With Him leading, we find strength in surrender. Openness to guidance means recognizing that we don't have all the answers. Sometimes God's path may seem unexpected, but that's where faith comes in. When we're receptive, we can hear His direction and move accordingly. Be willing to step into new possibilities, trusting He's guiding you. With an open heart, you're always moving toward His purpose. Moving with faith means taking action without needing to know every outcome. Faith isn't passive, it's a choice to walk with God one step at a time. Each step builds your confidence, knowing He's guiding you. Even when things feel uncertain, choose faith over fear. With every move, you're aligning closer with His plan. Quieting the noise allows us to hear God's voice more clearly. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, but God speaks in stillness. When we tune out the noise, we create space to receive His wisdom. It's in those quiet moments that He often reveals His path for us. Learn to embrace silence and let His voice lead. Embracing the unknown isn't easy, but God's guidance makes it possible. Uncertainty can feel overwhelming, but remember, God sees what we cannot. Where He guides, He provides, giving us strength for the journey. Every unknown is a chance to build trust in Him. Let your faith be stronger than your need to know every detail. Focusing on purpose over perfection frees us from the pressure of getting everything right. God isn't asking for flawless actions, He values your heart and intentions. When we prioritize purpose, we move with integrity and alignment. Each step on His path is about growth, not perfection. Trust that He will shape you as you walk with Him. Turning challenges into growth means seeing obstacles as opportunities. God uses challenges to strengthen and guide us toward greater things. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as redirection. With His guidance, every difficulty can lead to growth. Let your faith turn obstacles into stepping stones. Celebrating the journey means finding joy in each step along the way. Life is about more than the destination, it's about the lessons learned. When we trust God to lead, we can appreciate each phase of the journey. Each step, big or small, is a part of His purpose. Remember, the process is as important as the outcome. Anchoring in gratitude keeps our hearts open to God's blessings. Gratitude reminds us of His goodness, even when the path is hard. By thanking Him in every season, we align ourselves with His guidance. A grateful heart attracts more blessings and reveals God's plan. Let gratitude be the foundation of your faith journey. Releasing fear creates space for God's peace to fill us. Fear can cloud our minds, but faith clears the way for God's guidance. By choosing trust over worry, we allow Him to replace fear with hope. Every time fear arises, remember that He's in control. Faith is the antidote to every fear along our path. Trusting the detours means understanding that God's no often leads to a better yes. Not every closed door is a setback, sometimes it's divine protection. God may redirect us when we're heading down a path that doesn't serve us. Let detours be a sign of His care and guidance. Trust that He knows where you're truly meant to be. Finding strength in weakness means allowing God's power to work through us. When we feel weak, we're more receptive to His strength. God can use our vulnerability as a way to guide and refine us. Embrace your limitations and let Him carry you forward. In our weakness, His strength is revealed. Letting faith lead our actions means choosing to move, even when unsure. Faith-driven actions keep us aligned with God's purpose. Instead of waiting for all the answers, trust that He'll reveal them as you go. Let faith be the foundation of every decision you make. With God, every step is guided and purposeful. Seeking divine wisdom means asking God for insight beyond our own. His wisdom can open doors we didn't even know existed. Pray for clarity and be willing to follow where He leads. When we seek His wisdom, our choices become clearer and more aligned. Trust in His guidance over your understanding. Being present in the process allows us to fully experience God's guidance. Life isn't just about the destination, it's about what we learn on the way. When we focus too far ahead, we miss His daily guidance. To be present in every step, knowing each moment has purpose. God's plan is unfolding right here, right now. Refining intentions aligns our goals with God's purpose for us. When we examine our motives, we allow His guidance to shape us. Pure intentions create a path that's blessed and purposeful. Ask God to help you refine what drives you each day. With Him, every intention becomes a step toward purpose. Committing to growth means allowing God's path to shape you. Growth isn't always comfortable, but it's essential to your journey. God's plan includes refining and strengthening you over time. Embrace challenges as opportunities to become who you're meant to be. With each step, you're becoming more aligned with His vision for you. Staying adaptable means being open to God's unexpected directions. Life doesn't always go as planned, but God's path is steady. Adaptability allows us to pivot with purpose, following His guidance. Trust that even in change, He remains constant and faithful. God's plans are dynamic and designed to grow with you. Believing in the best outcome means trusting that God has a good plan for you. When we expect the worst, we close ourselves off from His blessings. Faith in His goodness opens the door to positive outcomes. Choose to believe that His path is leading you to something beautiful. Let hope be your guide as you follow Him. Surrendering worries means placing your burdens in God's hands. Worrying only weighs us down, but trust brings peace. Letting go of anxiety allows us to receive His guidance more freely. Every time you feel worried, remember God's promise to be with you. Trust that He's guiding you toward peace. Persevering through doubt means choosing faith over fleeting feelings. Doubt may arise, but God's guidance remains steady. Faith is a commitment to trust, even when emotions waver. Let every moment of doubt be a reminder to lean on Him. God's path is unwavering, even when we feel uncertain. Celebrating small steps allows us to recognize progress along the way. Every little step forward is a victory worth acknowledging. God's path is filled with milestones, both big and small. Embrace each one, knowing that growth is happening. Let gratitude fuel you as you continue moving forward. Speaking truth over fear replaces negativity with God's promises. Words have power, so use them to strengthen your faith. Instead of dwelling on fears, declare His truth over your life. Let God's promises be louder than any worry. Speak faith and watch your path unfold with purpose. Standing firm in faith means relying on God's strength over your own. Control may feel secure, but true peace comes from trusting Him. When challenges arise, stay rooted in your belief in God's plan. Strength is found in surrender, not self-reliance. Let Him be your foundation and guide. Openness to correction allows God to gently guide us back to the right path. Sometimes our plans or actions may veer off course. Embracing correction isn't failure, it's an opportunity for growth. Let God's wisdom reshape your steps when needed. With a teachable heart, every misstep leads back to purpose. Resting in God's assurance brings calm even in the midst of chaos. Trusting in His promises allows us to release worry and embrace peace. He knows your path and holds every detail with care. Lean on His assurance when you feel overwhelmed. God's presence is a constant source of comfort and strength. Seeing obstacles as redirection allows us to find purpose in setbacks. When things don't go as planned, God may be steering you to something better. Obstacles become less daunting when we see them as part of the journey. Trust that each detour is leading you closer to His purpose. Embrace challenges as signs of His guidance. Staying committed to growth means embracing every part of the journey. God's path is designed to shape you, not just lead you somewhere. Each experience, whether positive or difficult, contributes to your growth. Allow His plan to refine you and don't rush the process. Growth often happens in unexpected and challenging places. Not rushing the process allows God's timing to unfold as it's meant to. Often we want instant answers, but true growth takes time. Trust that every season has a purpose, even when it feels slow. God is preparing you for what's ahead at the perfect pace. Wait with patience, knowing His plan is worth it. Being patient with progress means celebrating each step, no matter how small. Sometimes God's path feels like a series of little steps rather than big leaps. Each step forward, however minor, is part of His plan. Appreciate the process and remember that growth is gradual. Patience brings peace as you move along His path. Inviting God's wisdom daily keeps you aligned with His purpose. Every day brings new challenges, and God's guidance can help you navigate them. Begin each morning by seeking His direction and clarity. When we walk with Him daily, our actions are filled with purpose. Let each day be a fresh opportunity to follow His path. Guarding your faith means protecting what keeps you connected to God. Faith fuels you, especially during tough times. Stay close to what nurtures your belief, whether through prayer, scripture, or community. By guarding your faith, you strengthen your resilience. With a strong faith, you're prepared for any challenge along the way. Finding joy in simplicity lets you appreciate God's blessings in everyday life. Sometimes God's guidance is found in the smallest, most unassuming moments. By cherishing the simple things, you open yourself to His presence. Joy comes from seeing His hand in every aspect of life. Embrace simplicity, and you'll find peace and contentment. Focusing on purpose over outcomes keeps you grounded in what matters. Outcomes are temporary, but purpose is enduring. When God leads, the journey itself becomes meaningful, not just the end goal. Let purpose guide your actions rather than being fixated on results. Trust that His path leads to lasting fulfillment. Listening before acting allows you to move with divine guidance. When we pause to seek God's voice, our actions align with His will. Take time to listen rather than rushing into decisions. By seeking His guidance first, every choice becomes purposeful. Let listening be your first step and action your second. Believing in transformation means trusting God's power to bring change. Growth is part of His plan, even if it feels challenging at times. Trust that God can transform any situation, no matter how difficult. Let His strength inspire you to embrace change. God's path is about becoming your best self. Staying hopeful in uncertainty brings peace amid life's unknowns. Life is unpredictable, but God's guidance is constant. By choosing hope, you remain open to His work in your life. Even when things feel unclear, trust that He's leading you somewhere meaningful. Hope fuels your journey and keeps you focused on His plan. Letting love lead your choices aligns you with God's heart. Every action, big or small, can be rooted in love. By choosing love, you make decisions that reflect His character. Let love be the foundation of everything you do. With God's love as your guide, your path becomes one of kindness and purpose. Celebrating each victory, no matter the size, builds faith for the journey ahead. Small wins are part of the bigger picture God has for you. Recognizing progress, however small, keeps you motivated. God's guidance is present in every step you take forward. Let each success remind you of His faithfulness. Letting gratitude fuel your faith opens you to God's blessings. Gratitude shifts your perspective from what's lacking to what's abundant. When you're thankful, you see more of God's guidance in your life. Let every moment of gratitude draw you closer to Him. A grateful heart is a heart open to God's purpose. Remembering that you're never alone brings comfort and strength. God is with you on every step of your journey, even in the hardest times. Let His presence be a source of courage and peace. When you feel isolated, know that He is always there. With God by your side, you're never truly alone. Seeking purpose rather than just goals allows you to live a more meaningful life. Goals are temporary, but purpose is lifelong. When God leads, He aligns your goals with a greater purpose. Let purpose guide you in everything, big and small. A purpose-driven path is fulfilling and aligned with God's will. Keeping a heart open to change allows God to shape your path. Life is dynamic, and God's plan often evolves with it. By staying open, you allow Him to lead you into new opportunities. Embrace change as part of His divine direction. With flexibility, you're ready to follow wherever He leads. Resting in divine assurance means placing your trust fully in God. He knows the path ahead, even when it's hidden from you. Let His promises give you peace and confidence. Trusting in His assurance frees you from anxiety about the future. With God's guidance, you can face any situation with calm and certainty.